Hello, guys. So, most people don't know at all what they're talking about. Literally, they don't know what they're talking about. I've received so much advice from so many people, also many who think they're like coaches and stuff. But understanding spirituality and the bioenergetic field and the psychoenergetic field on a deep level is just something totally different. To understand it in a detailed, kind of like granular form. So, let's start with the first thing. The very first thing is understand that pretty much nobody knows. So they all give kind of bad information, especially women to men. And once a man knows how to manifest, then he can create happiness for himself. A happiness in terms of like the physical realm. And which also involves a lot the mental realm. It doesn't necessarily involve the spiritual realm, but everything is kind of spiritual. So if I'm gonna talk on Fuck Matrix, I'm gonna talk about how to do the manifestation as a male. I'm gonna talk about that as a man. So you should sign up to their at least the Telegram for now until we launch. But then on the other hand, you have the let's talk about one specific problem that I want to talk about. Is most fathers have a suppressed libido, and so they're kind of like toxic metaframing, and they're in a toxic state. Most people that I talk to, the fathers are very similar. Why is that? Because most of the fathers that are out there have sacrificed too much and have suppressed their libido to a point where when the energy opens up in the sacral chakra and it doesn't move into a manifestation, then they are kind of like deep down unhappy. And while you are their child and they want you to succeed, superficially, unconsciously, there's still like this male competition going on, and they kind of don't want you to succeed. Or like Mooji says, nobody wants you to really be free. And that is kind of true, because it's feeding the pain body. It's feeding this narcissist, push and pull, and just you kind of have a child, but you don't want to be below the child. You want to always be above the child. It's kind of like that mentality, and it happens very unconsciously, Freudian kind of stuff. So what needs to happen as a man in order for you to succeed, you have to detach from the family, unless you have a very successful father. In terms of not like just money or something like that, but in terms of like libido empowerment, then it's a little bit different. But he would have to be fully in his masculinity and in his empowerment in order for him to want you to be that way. But I think in general it's good for men to go their own way anyway. So so if you're young and you feel like you are not supported by your family, just move out, basically. And there is much more stuff than this, which I'm going to talk about, Fuck the Matrix. But in general, do not expect a father which is suppressed in some form, maybe unconsciously, to be extremely supporting. And there was something else that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I feel a lot changing now for me. I feel also this whole idea of trying to find the right woman and just waiting for her to pop up somewhere. That kind of is as I open up my root chakra and as I open up my solar plexus into the male solar plexus manifestation, I feel like I'm just basically just creating the life that I want instead of waiting for it to happen. And how does that work? Of course, with non-duality, because as a spiritual, you might ask, how does that work? Actually, it is suppressing of energies by not doing it. So if you're like, let's just be as the self, abiding in the self, and ignore everything else, then, and you don't allow that energy to be expressed, you're actually unconsciously suppressing it using your solar plexus control power. So it's like you're not trying to suppress your thoughts, you're observing your thoughts, right? And the same goes with the energies. You're not trying to suppress the energies, you're allowing them to exist, to play. And this is a little bit also what Osho did. And once you understand that, you can fully realize those energies and at the same time be spiritually awakened. So it's not a form. It's not a form of spiritual awakening. Is not a form of control. It's actually the opposite of control. So when you let go, the energies actually can flow and express themselves more freely, which is also will trigger a couple of people and stuff. But if you know how to manifest from the solar plexus, then you don't have to worry about what other people think. You only worry about what other people think if you compare yourself to others. But once you start your own kind of life, your own energy by manifesting what you want, then you're kind of above it, you could say.